Hi everyone, this is Richard Wilkinson with my grant proposal discussion. And this is for the Daughters of the American Revolution that has a digital preservation grant for local history and history to do with American history. So what this project would be taking primary sources like newspapers, personal journals, letters, other personal writings, and digitalize it in a format that could be keyword researched and easier to read. Because in my own research, I found that sometimes things that get scanned in, they're hard to read. They take a long time. You kind of have to figure out and interpret what the words are because either of the handwriting or how they're scanned, or just because they're hard to read. And so we would set up a way to transcribe these so that they can be as accurate as possible, but make it easier for researchers to read and search. So this project would focus on local history in the beginning, looking at local newspapers, journals, letters, other writings through libraries, archives, and getting involved in the community and seeing what the community would be willing to give us so we could digitalize it in this way and offer it for researchers and those who are interested, especially even those interested in genealogy. So this would benefit anyone doing research in this area, genealogy research, historical research, opening this up so that they can access it. And it would be an open source database. And so this project would consist of 4 parts. And the first would be finding those sources through libraries, archives, and the community. And that, of course, would be an ongoing part of the project, but then we would have to take those sources, making sure that we're not duplicating any efforts, especially with newspapers, that they already had this done to them. But most newspapers seem just to be scanned in, so probably not. Once that is done, we could take these and we would be working with university students, have them transcribe it. One would transcribe it, and then another university student or professor would make sure that the transcription is correct. Or if it's not, see if we could find another better copy of, say, a newspaper that would be easier to read so we could correct it, or make a note that, hey, this isn't correct. And then we would scan these into, or put them into a database. And what we would like to do, is have this transcribed version along with the original version so that a researcher could see both if they had any questions. So once that was done and it's checked, we could put it in the database and researchers could use it. And this would be a continuous project, so it would take multiple grants over a number of years. Probably not ever be something we would complete, but just keep growing and keep having more documents added to it as we could, just like the Perseus project does, but focusing on local and American history. And so, as I said, the Daughters of the American Revolution offers a $25,000 grant, so we'd use that first to create a database, which would cost between $5,000 to $10,000, and then to pay workers to start transcribing these documents. If we paid the workers $11 an hour, which is the typical university student amount that they get paid now, after looking this up on Google, we could have 5 students working about 20 hours a week for 9 weeks off of the first grant. Then we would have to look for other funding to keep working on this. So 2 sources that I found that are useful for this is Katia Velarde's The Way We Ask for Money, The Emergence and Institutionalization of Grant Writing Practices in Academia. And it just talks about how grants have changed over time and some of the ways that we can make our grants successful, our grant proposals successful. And also Enola Proctor et al., there was a number of authors to this, Writing Implementation Research Grant Proposals, 10 Key Ingredients. They'll talk about different things that you need to include in your grants, like the feasibility of the research design and method, implementation strategy, stakeholder priorities, how you meet them, need for the research, and among other things. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.